Hey guys, it's Jodi here at Honeysuckle Hill Bee-stro, and I have Kensey Vinzant with me. She and her husband own Pappy's Barbecue in Brazil, which you need to go visit Pappy's if you have not. And she's also running for Clay County Auditor.
Yes.
And so Kensey, welcome to the table.
Well, thank you for having me.
So let's just talk real quick about why you decided to run for Clay County Auditor.
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I don't do anything small.
Yeah.
You know,
Good.
I have wanted to get involved and serve our community more for a long time. And I used to be really involved. And then I decided to become a foster parent and met my husband and everything. And so then I ended up adopting. And so I took a back seat to a lot of my community engagement.
Exactly. There's a time for everything.
There is, yes, and it has been time well spent, and I have enjoyed it. But I have been wanting to get back into the community and be able to serve, and I felt like this position in particular, because of the role that it plays in the county, and you're so connected with everyone, county commissioners and county council, you're working with everybody in the courthouse, you're working with the sheriff's department. I just felt like this was a great opportunity for me to really get back into that and be able to start building those relationships with people. And then really have a really good look at the county as a whole. So that's why I chose this position.
Yeah. So actually, auditor, whenever I look at the different roles in county government, the auditor is actually one of the most important roles. And you want to just tell a little bit about what an auditor does, what that position does?
So to basically boil it down, they are like the chief financial officer for the county. So they're overseeing taxes and the financial obligations and where payments are going. They're also like the bookkeeper. They're taking care of payroll and employee benefits. They work directly with the county commissioners and kind of act as the
kind of the secretary for them.
So, but that's, you know, in a nutshell, kind of what it is. There's obviously a lot of other things, but yeah. So.
Yeah, they're essentially the main HR person for the county too.
Yes, absolutely.
So they actually wear a lot of hats as auditor. So but you have experience as being a leader, as being, you have banking experience, which that is important.
Absolutely.
A lot of people think, oh, well, you need to have an auditing degree to be a county auditor, but that's not the case. There's really no criteria in statute to run for auditor.
There's not. No. So. Yes, you are right. I've had a lot of experience as far as dealing with finances. Before Pappy's, I was the regional manager for First Farmers Bank and Trust, and at my peak at that point, I oversaw as many as 14 branch locations. Of course, we had some mergers and acquisitions and that kind of stuff, but multiple branches that I had overseen. We would prepare budgets, and of course, my job was to make sure that we were staying in line with our budgets and goals and that kind of thing, and working with our county governments, not just in Clay County, but all the areas that I served in Indiana and Illinois. So I did work very directly with public funds. So not unfamiliar with that. And I was in banking for about 8 years in that role. And then, I mean, I've done lots of other things. I've obviously been a business owner. And I'll tell you, nobody understands budgeting and being the head of HR and wearing multiple hats than a business owner, because you are all things.
That's right. You're the marketer and everything else.
Everything, as you know. So,
But I think it's good that you had the banking experience that you had, especially being a regional person where you had so many other branches underneath you, that because you had a hierarchy above you that you had to be held accountable to where whenever you're in your own business, you're running your own business. I mean, the buck kind of stops with you. So you have experience with both sides.
Yes.
So,
yes.
and you are very community involved. Pappy's is very, very giving back. I mean, very much a giver back to the community.
Yes. Yes.
And you guys are like a staple. I mean, you know, a lot of people come to Brazil just to go to Pappy's.
Yes, yeah. You know, and I will tell you, my heart has always been to serve. You know, whether that's even back as far as even in elementary and middle school, like I would volunteer with special needs students and stuff. Did that for a little while. Volunteered at 14th and Chestnut for a little bit. Junior achievement. I was a youth leader, a youth pastor for a little while. I won't say pastor. I will say youth leader. Did that for many years. I enjoyed it immensely. I really enjoy working with kids and stuff. And you know, when I made that ultimate step to become a foster parent and to adopt and everything, and I had to step away from some of those things so that I could focus on that, Pappy's has allowed me the opportunity to still be involved and to still be connected to a lot of those organizations. You know, just this month, we just did a check presentation for one of the ball teams. These guys, I'll tell you what, these kids came in, they're 7 and under, and we had a dine to donate with them last Tuesday or a couple Tuesdays ago. And these kids were everywhere. They were, I mean, they were a blast, and they were working the whole crowd that was there, and just seeing that, being able to, you know, support that is fantastic.
Right.
So.
And you don't know, you might have inspired one of those kids to, you know, become an entrepreneur someday.
I hope.
Or, you know, have their own restaurant someday. You just never know what you're going to really be instilling into a kid whenever you're just trying to meet the need for the moment.
Absolutely.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, you and Travis have other businesses besides just Pappy's. So what else do you guys do?
Well, the other part of what we do is what I talked about, which is home renovations. We flip houses. We have an Airbnb, commercial properties. So we do a lot of that. And that's like my passion. Like I love being able to do that. I love taking something that doesn't look so great and pour my time and effort into it. And I can't do it all. So I work with good people and have them help me to create something that could be a nice home for somebody.
Right.
Whether that means they become a renter of ours or they're staying there for just a week or so in our Airbnb, or, you know, we flip it and sell it to, you know, a family. So that's the other piece.
So, okay, this is something that I believe is a core thing with people. Whatever you do for your passion and how you deal with your passion is how you probably will apply work to, because it's the core of who you are.
Yes.
So you are a visionary.
Yep.
You think outside the box.
Yep.
So how do you think you could utilize those? And I feel like too, from hearing from you, that you have initiative, for sure, 110%, that's an understatement. And that you have initiative and you're intuitive.
Yes.
Those are two things that I feel like are super important for everyone to have, no matter what role they have. So how would you apply those to the office of auditor?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I bring to the table is the ability to collaborate. And I have said this time and time again, like in every role that I have had had to work with other departments and organizations and individuals. And sometimes I may not agree with them.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they don't have great ideas, and they don't have things that we shouldn't embrace and be able to apply for the greater good. And I think that there is a lot of room in Clay County and in the auditor's office to listen to some of those things. So think about the people that have been in some of these positions, and maybe they have seen or they've thought, hey, you know what, maybe if we did this, it might be able to benefit us here. I want to hear that.
Right.
I want to, I don't care which side of the political aisle people are on.
Right.
I don't care which church you go to. I don't care, what your background
Who your family
is,
members
who your family
are.
is. It doesn't matter to me. I am pro Clay County.
Right. 100%.
And 100%. And I want to come to the table with those that are also pro Clay County.
Right.
And let's make this the best place that we can.
I agree.
And I think just observing and listening.
Yeah.
I think you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
And then let's take some time. Let's come to the table and let's make sure that we're doing what's best.
I'm a firm believer that everyone needs to be teachable.
Right.
You know, you have to not think so highly of yourself, be a little humble.
Yes.
To realize you don't know everything.
Yep.
And to listen and get input from other people.
Yep.
Especially elected officials. If you're going to be an elected official and you're going to represent people, then you have to have a mindset that they know more than what you know. You need to be able to listen to them and then weigh.
Yes.
Then weigh.
Yes.
But your mindset needs to be, you listen to the people.
Absolutely. And, I have to say, like, coming into this role, do I know everything about
you're not going to.
I'm
Nobody
not.
does.
And I will promise you, I will make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I am very, very teachable.
Right.
And I have always looked at every position I have been in. It didn't matter if it was housekeeping or it was as a regional manager or as a business owner. I have always thrived on constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be the best that I can be at whatever that role is.
Right.
And this position would be no different for me.
Right.
I come with a willingness to learn and to work together and come to the table with teachability.
Right. I feel like that if people don't criticize me, give me constructive criticism, not just being nasty with no answer, then they really don't care for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't care enough to teach me whenever I'm doing something wrong, then you don't care for me.
Yep.
And I think for some people and some of our local elected officials, that's a hard concept for, to grasp.
Yes.
So anyway, okay, so let's do some rapid fire questions.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. So whenever you have time alone, what do you listen to? Do you listen to music, podcasts, audiobooks?
Actually, I do all.
Okay.
So audiobooks is new for me.
Yeah.
I just started, a couple of the girls at Pappy's, they had started getting into Frida McFadden books. And, I don't normally read or listen to anything that's not some version of self-help or self-improvement.
Yeah.
But I've kind of gotten into these audio books, and I was actually listening to one on the way here. So, but that, I do a lot of podcasts. I love Mel Robbins. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey a little bit. I like that.
Yeah.
Lots of self-help kind of stuff. I'm always trying to, like I said, be better, very goal-oriented. So anything that kind of points me that direction. And my playlist is, it is all over the board. You may have Dean Martin on 1 minute and at the next minute it might be Reba McEntire, and then it might be, some rock version of something. And so you just never know with me.
Yeah. What's the best book you ever read?
Oh, well, this is gonna cliche, but the Bible.
Well, okay. All right. Now I don't let people do that one. So
all right.
because that should be a given.
Yes,
for most people. Anyway.
The best book. There's been a lot, but there is a book, I can't remember the author's last name. Her first name was Tracy, and I read it in college called One Child. And it was about this woman's work with special needs kids and how she was with them throughout their journey. And that book has always stuck with me. I've read it a couple of times. And then a book that I read or that I listen to, because audiobook, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell.
Okay.
I have read that book probably 5 or 6 times, and I really try to embrace those principles. Yeah.
That's so cool. So would you consider yourself an avid reader?
No.
Okay.
But like I said, here recently, getting into the audiobooks and stuff, I have been taking in a lot more of that.
Yeah.
As a business owner, and especially a restaurant owner, as you know, you don't get a lot of downtime.
See, we're different than you. So I have a
true.
lot of time in the kitchen by myself, doing prep by myself, and so I'm constantly on Spotify. I'm listening to Spotify all the time. What's a perfect day for you?
Oh, a perfect
If you
day.
woke up with no responsibilities on the agenda for the day.
Oh my goodness. I can't even think about what that would look like. So kind of my morning routine, after, you go to bathroom, get yourself situated. First thing I do is I have to go let the dogs out and get my coffee, and my little wiener dog, Zach, he's got to be curled up with me.
Yeah.
And we live on a lake like you guys,
Okay, good.
and I love being able to just look at the water and, the sun coming up and that kind of stuff. Full disclosure, it's probably just a day where I don't have to get out of my pajamas.
The same.
Yes.
The same.
And just be able to kind of piddle around the house and, just enjoy being at home and being with my kids and my husband. Those days are very few and far between for us. So I think that's probably it. And got to throw in a game night in there with all of us.
What's your favorite game to play?
In our family, we're big on Uno.
Okay.
And it is cutthroat.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right. Cutthroat Uno. Okay. So what's the first hard thing you remember doing growing up?
The first hard thing?
Where you felt that sense of accomplishment?
I would say, going through my parents' divorce. And it's weird because I was young, but I still remember a lot of that. Having to be the big sister to my little brother, and being juggled back and forth between mom and dad, and my grandparents were very involved. I don't know what I would have done without them. But I think that is probably the biggest thing in my life that has helped form who I am.
So it's funny because I always say my most influential person growing up was my favorite aunt, And so do you feel like your grandparents were maybe, nothing against parents, but kids need somebody that's special.
Yeah.
Outside of.
You're gonna get me emotional.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, I have been extremely blessed in that I grew up with all of my grandparents, great-grandparents as well. So even my great-grandparents, they own Sutherland and Sons. I remember going down and sitting with great granny, and she was doing the book work and that kind of stuff. And, so having them, and then also my grandparents, especially, I called them Granny and Pap. They were such a huge influence in my life. And I miss them every day. So, yes, Granny used to, we would get coffee every morning from the time I was 2. I'm literally 2 years old.
No wonder you're addicted to coffee.
So, and she would drill me on the books of the Bible.
Oh, wow.
Kensey Ray. I just told my middle name. She would say, what are the books of the Bible? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. And, she would always push me to get outside of my box. I remember being 15, 16 years old, and Papa John's had come in there at Kroger, and I wanted a pizza. Granny drove me over there, and she said, all right, you're going to go in and order it. And believe it or not, people that know me now, I'm a bit of an extrovert, but then I was not at all.
She was pushing you out of that shell.
She was like, we're going to sit here in this parking lot until you go in and order the pizza. But she always did that, and Pap would always, I remember one time we were out playing basketball, and I was young, and I was like, I'm going to be the next Michael Jordan. Now, I don't know how that's going to happen. But he's like, why don't you just be the first Kensey?
Oh, nice.
And, he would always put a spin on things like that, and that would make you think, you don't have to be the best anybody else.
Right.
Just be the best version of yourself.
Right.
And, and so I would say those two were definitely a huge impact in my life.
Yeah.
All of my grandparents. I have one grandmother left, my grandma Tucker, and, she's technically my step grandmother, but she has always loved me as though I was her own, as she does with all of hers, because we have a very blended family. Yeah. And, just having that still to this day is huge for me. Yeah. And, I've been very blessed. Grandparents, yes, they're amazing.
Yeah, so. Because whenever you're a parent, now that we're grandparents, I'm realizing it's totally different being a grandparent, because I think whenever you're a parent, you take so much on, like you're going to fail these kids, and whenever you're a grandparent, you can just be the cheerleader and an encourager, you know, and I think we all need an encourager.
Yes, absolutely.
No matter what it is that we do. Okay, so tell me what it is that we're making today.
We're going to be making, all right, maybe I'm not supposed to say this.
Okay.
But we're going to be making the Pappy's baked beans.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
Because they're delicious. So
Thank you.
Anyway. Okay, so you guys join us in the kitchen. We'll be making Pappy's baked beans. Okay, so Kensey, we are making the world famous Pappy's baked beans.
We are.
So, and you came up with this recipe.
Yeah, it's the only thing at Pappy's that I have any credit to.
Okay, all right, well, great. So I'm going to be your sous chef. So you walk me through. I know we have to do an onion. Should I do the bacon or the onion first?
We're going to do bacon first.
Okay.
And we're going to need about 8 ounces.
About 8 ounces. Okay. You care if I eyeball it?
Yes,
okay.
By all means.
All right.
And I'm going to go ahead, since we've already got our pot going, I'm going to add just a little bit of oil just so that doesn't burn and get crazy.
Okay. All right. So how did you come up with this recipe?
Well, full disclosure, in my family, we do a lot of cookouts, family gatherings, that kind of thing. And I feel like everybody in my family likes the cold salads, you know, bean salad, broccoli salad, potato salad, all this kind of stuff. And there was always baked beans. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, Jodi, I don't like any of this stuff.
No.
And so I was kind of like, if I'm going to be showing up to these things, I need to have at least something that I can bring to the table.
Right, that you can eat.
That I can eat.
Okay, and you good for this to go in now?
Yeah, go ahead. We're going to get that in there. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're just going to give it a little stir and let it kind of cook down a little bit.
All right, I'm going to change out my gloves.
All right.
And so you came up with this?
Yes. So basically, I'm like, if I'm going to have to, come to all these things and stuff, I've got to have something I want to eat. And so I basically just decided if I'm going to bring something, I wanted it to be easy.
Right.
Because truth be told, I'm not a cook.
Okay.
I'm really not.
Yeah. And so, I'm a firm believer that everybody has a creative outlet. So I'm hearing from you that cooking's not your creative outlet.
Nope.
But it's Travis's.
It's Travis's.
Okay.
He's fantastic. He's amazing. He does all the things.
So what is your creative outlet?
I like renovating houses.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and Andy are more like, and Travis and I are more like.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Although I think Trav and Andy look a lot alike.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They actually do. So do you, are you like a big HGTV watcher and all those like type shows or?
A little bit. I really like the ones on a budget.
Yeah.
Like I had this whole idea a while back that I wanted to do like a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Where I could transform your house for less than $100.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I never got that far, mainly because I don't have much
dead
of a...
yet.
No, well, that's true. I also don't have much of an attention span, though.
Yeah, true. Okay, yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
So, so what's your favorite like store for home improvement? I mean, whether a big box store like any other sort of store? What's your favorite
Well,
one to go into that gives you inspiration?
You know what? It's not a store. It's an auction.
Oh.
I found this auction out of Indianapolis, and my aunt and uncle are building a log cabin, and they told me about it. And I've been finding all kinds of stuff on there. I'll tell you what. So
we'll probably have to share a link. And now you're going to have competition at the auction.
I know. I almost didn't say anything. So, but yeah, that and honestly, I'm always I'm very thrifty, so I'm always looking for a bargain.
Yeah.
And we actually have a basement right now that is full of all kinds of home improvement supplies. Yeah. So I drive Trav crazy with all that.
So I told Andy, and he's not with me on this one, but I think it would be fun to try to build like a little Airbnb, just like a little cottage, just a little cottage from stuff that you find used.
Oh, I think that would be amazing. Yeah. Like that's right up my alley.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. So, anyway, Andy's not on board yet. But he's not dead yet either. So maybe I can convince him at some point.
All things in time.
Andy's behind the camera, and so he's shaking his head no. But he has a smile on his face, so that doesn't mean a no-no.
There we go. I think he'd be up for it. So.
Okay, so do I have the onions diced the way that you would like?
Perfect.
Okay,
those are
and
perfect.
I'm a little cry. I'll be honest with you, Kensey. They were a little dry.
A little bit. I could kind of sense it from over here.
So. I don't know why some onions, you're fine with, and others are just really strong. Sammy, who works for us, she's a big Alton Brown,
Oh, yes.
I think that's his name. Where he gives like the chemistry and the science behind food. And so if she was here, she would give us like a big spiel, and I would be like, okay, Sammy, whatever.
Yes.
But anyway, because I'm just like, let's cook the food and let's eat it.
Yeah, that's me.
So what's your favorite thing to eat? If you were going to, besides the baked beans at a family thing, what's your favorite go-to?
At a family thing, honestly, just, burger.
It doesn't have to be a family thing. Like your birthday. Let's say it's your birthday. What do you want?
Okay, the poke bowls.
Oh, yeah.
Poke bowls. I love it.
Yes.
The rice. I love, having the fresh tuna, and I love the mango and edamame and all the sauces and stuff. That's hands down my favorite.
I just love bowls. I mean,
yes.
And it's funny to me because if you look at old cookbooks, there's like, you can see different generations. In our generation, it's definitely the Asian infusion, because it was like the 70s, you started seeing the Italian, and then in the 80s, it was the Mexican. And so it's just fun to see how that all transpires. Let me know whenever you're ready for the onion.
Okay, so we're actually going to want to cook this just a little longer. We're kind of looking for it to be about a brick red color.
Okay. Oh, nice. That's good to know. Okay.
Yeah. And then we're gonna add in those. We're gonna cook everything in here.
Okay.
Like I don't put it in the oven or anything. We just continue to evolve everything in the pot.
Perfect. Perfect. So that's a pretty red color.
Yes.
Like you said you were looking for.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go ahead and dump those onions right in.
Okay. And I probably should have drained the beans.
Oh, yes. We want to go ahead and drain some of that juice off of there.
And so whenever you gave me the recipe, you said the Bush's baked beans. So do you always use the Bush's, or is it just because that's the big can that you can buy locally?
Honestly, no. I really think that they're about the best.
Yeah.
So we try to stick with those.
Yeah.
But you're right. They are very easily accessible.
Okay. You ready for these then? I think I got them.
Just hold off just a minute.
All right.
Once these onions start to get just a little soft, we're actually going to add the beans very last.
Okay. Then I'm going to let them just sit there and do
And that's
their
good
thing.
because we like to let those drain.
Okay. All right. A lot of juice in here.
And so now that this is all kind of cooking down a little bit, we're going to go ahead and drop our butter in.
Okay. And we had, you said 4 ounces, right? The butter? Okay.
Yeah. And we're just going to add that directly in on here.
Okay.
All right. And let that butter all...
Nice. So how many trials and errors did you have before you came up with this particular recipe?
You know what? Again, I'm not the cook.
Yeah.
I'm very much, and that's why I don't bake either, because everything has to be so precise.
Yeah.
My daughter likes to say that I like to, when I do cook, I just keep seasoning stuff until I'm like, yep, that works.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's basically what I did.
Yeah. We
I
call
just went
that
on
cooking
forever.
by the fields.
Yes, cooking in the fields.
Yeah, yeah.
So she's like that a lot, but she has also learned to take after Trav, so she's pretty regimented on her baking.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Andy would always say, this is really good. Are we ever going to be able to have it again?
Right.
I would be like, we'll try.
Exactly.
Not making any promises.
So we're going to go ahead and turn this down to low.
Okay.
And while that butter's melting, we can go ahead and start grabbing our other ingredients. So we're going to get brown sugar.
Okay, so I got that here.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and get us a cup of brown sugar.
Okay. I'll take off this glove since...
And actually, we're going to do 2 cups of brown sugar.
2 cups of brown sugar, okay. All right. There we go.
All right, and then we're going to add in our maple syrup.
Okay.
And this is going to start to get pretty thick.
Okay.
So we're going to add all that in there. All right.
Okay.
And you know what?
What? You're thinking the barbecue sauce.
The barbecue sauce. I am.
So whenever Kensey gave me the recipe, it's of course Pappy's barbecue sauce, which is delicious. And I told you we have all the ingredients. Don't worry about it. I don't have a barbecue sauce. Now it's not going to be the same, but we do have barbecue sauce on the counter or on the shelf. That we just made.
I feel like that is going to be sufficient.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
All right. Okay, sorry. I feel like this is going to be such a poor substitution for what it is that you guys
You know what?
make,
You've got
you guys
honey,
are great.
you've got bourbon on there. I feel like you can't lose, you know? So we're just going to mix all this in together.
You said 12 ounces, so I'm going to do half of that bottle.
All right, perfect. And by now, it's just looking like a soupy kind of...
Yeah, that looks good. I mean, that looks like something I would like to bathe in, actually.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, so then we're just going to go ahead and add our seasonings.
Okay, and so what else are we adding
So we're going to put in a tablespoon of garlic.
Okay, do you use minced garlic or do you use garlic powder?
I use garlic powder just because that's what I had
I got that.
when I first did this.
Okay, so I will give you that. Right. And then you said salt and pepper. We do a salt and pepper blend.
That's
Is that
totally fine.
Yep.
Okay. And then we're just going to go ahead and mix those directly in here.
Okay. I'm glad that this pan is a little bit deeper than what we need.
Yes.
You might use your spoon on that. Or otherwise you and I both would have been wearing... we would have been bathing
We would have been bathing. And then we're just mixing it all in together. And
And then about how long do you let it cook on the stove before?
Just a couple minutes, honestly. You just want to get it to temp. Now, if you're, here's a secret. If you want it to look nice and, you don't have to make it right away or whatever, put it in a nice frou-frou pan. So that is the secret Pappy's baked bean recipe. So
that's a big deal to share that. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
All right, now do we need to wait a little bit before we eat it, or can we try it?
We can go ahead and try it now if you want. I personally like when the beans are just a little bit warmer, but I think we'll be okay.
We'll wait. We'll just let them do their thing for a little bit.
Okay.
All right. All right, so Kensey, now it's time to try the baked beans. You want to do the honors of dipping?
I will dip some.
And I don't care if you get it all over, because that's kind of a big spoon, small bowl.
That's all right.
And we're dipping 3, so Andy can try one too, because
Excellent.
We'll let the camera guy have some.
It's got to be paid, Got to pay him in food.
Yeah, that's about all he gets paid in, to be honest with you.
That's a good way to be paid. All right.
There you go. And there you go, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, I'm so excited. I love baked beans anyway.
All right.
It is hot.
There you go.
You did good.
Thank you.
Even if you only cook one thing, and this is it,
Stick with it.
it is good. You're a legend already.
And I have to say, I really like that barbecue sauce.
Oh,
I really do. That's pretty good.
this is awesome. Thank you, Kensey, for coming and cooking with me
Thank
and
you for
having a
having me.
conversation. All right. Thanks.